It's 11:45 p.m. The deadline is exactly at midnight. You have 15 minutes left to finish something that was supposed to take 2 weeks. Your pulse is pounding, your palms are sweating, and the coffee in your mug went cold hours ago. But here's the weird part. Right now, under this crushing pressure, your brain is operating like a quantum computer. You're typing faster than you ever have. Insights that wouldn't come to you for 10 days are suddenly clicking into perfect sentences. You are so focused that the rest of the world has simply ceased to exist. No social media, no fatigue, no hunger, just you and the finish line. Does this sound familiar? Society calls this laziness. Your parents probably called it irresponsibility. You, most likely, call it your greatest curse. You promise yourself, next time, I'll start early. I'll make a plan. I'll stick to the schedule. But next time comes, and it happens all over again. You're back in that silent room, 5 minutes away from disaster. But what if I told you that you aren't lazy? What if your habit of doing everything at the last minute isn't a bug in your personality, but a sophisticated, high-octane survival strategy of your brain? Today, we're going to break down why some of us simply cannot hit the gas until we can see the edge of the cliff. We've been told our whole lives, just start earlier, as if the problem is that we don't know how to read a clock or use a calendar. But here is the secret. Procrastination is not a time management problem. It's an emotional regulation problem. Think about it. You're facing a big task, writing a report, learning a language, or having a difficult conversation. Your brain looks at that task and immediately senses a threat. Not a physical one, but a threat to your ego, your comfort, or your self-image. Your inner voice whispers, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Your brain is a master protector. To save you from that anxiety right now, it chooses the path of least resistance, avoidance. It says, let's watch YouTube. It's safe there. No one is judging us on YouTube, and you feel a wave of relief for about 5 minutes. But that relief is a trap. While you're relaxing, the task hasn't gone anywhere. It's hovering over you like a dark cloud. You aren't working, but you aren't resting either. You are stuck in anxious limbo. This is where the deadline comes in. It's the only tool in your arsenal that is scarier than your fear of failure. When time finally runs out, the panic of the deadline becomes louder than the panic of the task itself. Only then does your emotional shield drop and you finally start to move. Why can some people work in small chunks every day while you need a massive explosion at the end? The answer lies in your dopamine and your brain's executive functions. For most people, the signal to act comes from the prefrontal cortex. It says, this is important, let's start. But for procrastinators, that signal is often too weak. You're missing the spark to start the engine. This is where stress enters the frame. As the deadline closes in, your adrenal glands pump a high-octane cocktail of adrenaline and cortisol into your bloodstream. It's the fight-or-flight response, except instead of a saber-toothed tiger, you're facing an empty Word document. This chemical surge does two things. First, it temporarily shuts down your fear and perfectionism. You simply don't have time to doubt yourself. You're in survival mode. Second, it spikes your dopamine levels, giving you that laser focus that was missing for the last 2 weeks. Psychologists call this active procrastination. You are literally using panic as a crutch for your willpower. Without that pressure, your brain doesn't see a reason to burn energy. To your mind, a task without a deadline is just noise. A task due in 1 hour is a matter of life and death. The only problem? This adrenaline engine comes at a cost. You're trading your long-term health, your sleep, and your nervous system for a burst of productivity. You're winning the sprint, but you're slowly losing the marathon. Have you ever wondered why, at the end of a day where you accomplished nothing productive, you still feel like you've been working a double shift? This is the procrastination paradox. The rest of the world thinks you're relaxing or having fun, but in reality, you are in a state of background threat scanning. That task, the one you've been putting off, is running in your brain like an open browser tab that's hogging all your RAM. You open a game or a social media app, but you aren't actually enjoying it. You feel the guilt. You feel that weight in your chest. This isn't rest, it's dirty dopamine. You're just trying to drown out the noise of your anxiety with the louder noise of mindless content. Your brain is in a state of constant micro-stress. You aren't spending energy on the work, you're spending it on resisting the work. It's an endless internal battle. I should do this versus I can't. By the evening, this war has drained all your resources, leaving you with nothing left, not even the willpower to go to bed on time. In the end, you wake up even more exhausted, and the cycle resets. You wait for inspiration or energy to arrive, but they never show up because you burned them all yesterday just by thinking about how much you didn't want to start. Let's dig even deeper. Why are we so terrified of just starting? The answer might surprise you. It's the fear of discovering your own limits. As long as you haven't started the work, it stays perfect in your head. A masterpiece. A genius project. But the moment you pick up the pen or open your laptop, the project becomes real. And if it's real, it has the potential to be mediocre. It has the potential to be ordinary. The deadline is your psychological insurance policy. If you spend 2 weeks on a project and the result is just okay, that means you are just okay. That hurts. But if you do that same work in a single night and it's just okay, you have a bulletproof excuse. Well, I only had a few hours. Imagine what I could have done if I'd actually had time. You are using a lack of time as a shield for your ego. Procrastination allows you to maintain the illusion of your own hidden genius. It feels safer than giving 100% and facing the reality of the result. We aren't afraid of the work. We are afraid of being judged. We are afraid of disappointing ourselves. As long as we push it to the last minute, we remain potentially great. But potential that is never realized is just a beautiful fantasy. So how do we stop being hostages to our own adrenaline? The answer isn't to become disciplined overnight. The answer is to make the first step so incredibly small that your brain is too lazy to even resist it. Try the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself, I'm not going to do the whole project. I'm just going to open the file and work for exactly 5 minutes. If I want to stop after that, I will. In 90% of cases, the hardest part is overcoming the static friction of starting. Once the car is moving, it's much easier to keep it going than it was to jumpstart it. And second, and this is the most important part, stop the self-flagellation. Beating yourself up for yesterday's laziness is exactly what's killing today's productivity. Guilt is a heavy anchor. Drop it. Acknowledge the truth. Yes, I am a procrastinator. Yes, my brain runs on deadlines. This is my operating system, not my death sentence. You aren't broken. You are a sprinter trying to run a marathon. Stop comparing your pace to the people who finish everything a week early. Find your own rhythm. Use your bursts of energy wisely, but give yourself the right to real, clean rest. Rest without the shadow of guilt. If this video made you feel a little less alone in your midnight battles, hit that like button. Drop a comment and tell us about the most insane project you finished 1 hour before the deadline. Let's laugh at our shared chaos. Subscribe to learn how to live in peace with your own mind. And now, close this video. You have that one thing you've been putting off, right? You have 5 minutes. Go. Start now. I'll see you in the next one.